Hello ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Bringing you guys a deck profile over here, and we're just actually going to breeze right through it. We're going to go through it as quickly as possible. This is Inzektors. This is actually one of 3 of my Inzektor builds that I'm currently working on, but this one is probably in its earliest stages just because I did build it last night. Do not look at this as the final build. I only built it last night, and currently I only have about an hour and 35 minutes tops of playing time with this deck, so I haven't had a lot of time, unfortunately, to edit and mess around with it, so keep that in mind. So this is Inzektors, and what makes this different from my other builds is this one plays Insect Imitation. So for those of you who just want the build first, we'll do that first, and then we'll go into details. So first off, Dark Armed, Gores, double Gigamantis, triple Hopper, triple Centipede, 1 Dragonfly, a Sangan, Hornet, double Trooper, triple Ladybug, and double Veiler. For spells, we're at Heavy Storm, Foolish Burial, Monster Reborn, triple Insect Imitation, double Pod Duality, triple Mystical Space Typhoon, double Excalibur. For traps, we're at double Torrential Tribute, triple Call of the Haunted, and double Solemn Warning. In terms of the extra deck, I'm not going to be listing it only because I'm currently working on 2 different ones, and I don't know which one I should show you guys. But if you guys want to create an extra deck in order to like try this deck out or whatever, definitely create an extra deck that has rank 3s, rank 4s, rank 5s, and Gaia Dragon. And do not forget Inzektor Exostag. That card put like a ton of work for me. It was insane. I loved it. So yeah, that's the list itself. So now I'm actually just going to go into a couple of the cards here and explain some things, and then I'll go into how the deck's been doing thus far. So first off, Dark Armed. Like, the deck manipulates the graves so easily, so it's really easy to drop if you need darks in your graveyard. Majority of things except Trooper and Veiler are darks, so you just let something die, if anything. You can use Card Trooper's milling ability, you can use Foolish Burial, whatever. If you have too much darks, you can use an Inzektor to equip an Inzektor from the grave, and that'll relieve yourself of 1 dark. Same with Excalibur, it will essentially relieve you of 1 dark. You do have your Call of the Haunted and your Monster Reborn and all that stuff, so it's very easy to get the darks out of the grave. So Dark Armed is very easy to drop. Gores, I love it, stops OTKs and all that stuff. I think the only thing that hinders it is Call of the Haunted, but that's only on some occasions, and even then I do have Heavy Storm. I do have Inzektors that are able to pop that, and then, you know, probably my opponents opposing Heavy Storm if they do play it as well. So Gores has its freedom. Double Gigamantis, I run 2. It's awesome in terms of, you know, that massive boost of attack. It's really insane. And plus, its Reborning effect that I've used many times to OTK so far. It's insane. A lot of people play 1 Gigamantis and 1 Giga something just because they want that other Giga something to be able to reborn a monster that turn as well. Just because you're only allowed to use Gigamantis' Reborning effect once per turn, unfortunately. But after I've used the first one and I've done that, I've never really needed the second one to go off in the same way. If anything, sometimes I wouldn't even get the second Gigamantis in my hand at all in order to do that anyways. If anything, it's just used just for an extra boost of attack if it does somehow wind up in my hand for whatever reason. So I've never really needed the second one, so that's why I played double. Triple Hopper, I love Hopper, some people don't, but I guess they are not really playing Insect Imitation because that's where it really shines. And there was actually 3 duels before I started recording my duels on a piece of paper. Hopper in 2 of my games beforehand. If it wasn't for this card's direct attack effect, direct attack enabler, I wouldn't have won, because it was just the fact that I was able just to direct attack with my Inzektor that won me the game. So Hopper was just tremendous. Triple Centipede, obviously. Dragonfly, obviously. Sangan, maybe not so obvious. I don't run tour guides. The reason why I don't run tour guides is because they don't really fit in my preference. I don't really find them all that great in this deck, to be quite honest. I still do play the Sangan because it can search me out anything in that second row of monsters. And if anything, if I have a Sangan, I can Insect Imitation it. I can get out a Hopper, and then with Sangan's effect, I can go fetch me a Hornet, which I've actually done twice so far. So pretty good stuff. Hornet, obviously. Troopers, maybe not so obvious. I'm actually just testing out the card troopers right now, but they work really well with the Call of the Haunted and all that stuff, and so far it hasn't backfired on me whatsoever. Triple Ladybug, really good, especially if you open up with Centipede and this. You can get things rolling very quickly. If anything, you can use this to equip a Hornet, and if anything, you can actually Insect Imitation this, and then go fetch a Dragonfly or a Centipede, and start going off from there. I run double Veiler. I was originally playing Max C's in this, but I decided just to drop them, but I do want to main at least maybe one, or maybe stick in two somehow. But Veilers for me in the long run were just way better. It was honestly way better. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but they did put in a massive amount of work whenever I drew them. In terms of spells, Heavy Storm, Foolish, Monster Reborn, pretty self-explanatory. Insect Imitation is just fantastic in a lot of ways. Like, you see the whole Sangan thing, especially with the whole Ladybug thing. I can go get me a Dragonfly or a Centipede or something like that. There are times where this card has actually helped me OTK as well. And if anything, if they Veiler one of my Inzektors or something like that, I can just Insect Imitation it, get rid of it, bring out another one. In terms of the whole Dragonfly Centipede stuff, I can Insect Imitation them as well and get out Hopper as well. So I don't know. I like me some Insect Imitation. Double Duality. I've always been a fan of Duality in this deck. I was accustomed to playing 3, and a lot of people were accustomed to playing 2, but now I have to play 2, so whatever. Triple MST, and then double Zek Caliber, which also helped me OTK, and it also helps me recycle some Inzektors in the grave as well. In terms of the traps, double Torrential. I'm actually thinking about subbing in double Bottomless, but we'll see about that. Triple Call of the Haunted, I think it's necessary because of the whole card trooper and all that nonsense. And like, the nonsense that I've been able to pull off with the Call of the Haunted is just insane. And then I run double Warning. I don't run Judgment. I don't know. I'm finding it less and less not my thing. I really do not find myself wanting to pay half of my life points majority of the time. And there were times where if I had Solemn Judgmented at a certain time, I would have ended up losing terribly. So who knows? I'm also not playing Allure of Darkness. I never really found myself in a position where I wanted to banish anything, although I can Levier and all that stuff. Going for Levier doesn't actually happen as much as you think it does. It's actually one of the hardest. I wouldn't say it's hard, but out of all of them, it's one of the hardest. But it's not hard, but it's one of the hardest to bring out currently for me. So yeah, that's the deck itself and how the deck's been doing. I went in 20 recorded single duels, so I'm not counting the 3 duels that I had before I did all this recording stuff on pieces of paper. But I went into single duels, and I only went into single duels because I don't have a side ready. If I did, then I would go in matches, but I'm still really testing out the main deck. But in terms of the main deck, I don't know, things seem pretty solid, all things considered. So I went into 20 single duels, and I recorded all 20 of them. I went up against Fabled, I beat it. Madolche's, I OTK'd it. Gagagas, I OTK'd it. Dark World, I OTK'd it. Rock Stun, I wanted to OTK Rock Stun so bad, because the players were pissing me off. But they are a stun deck, so they kind of slowed me down quite considerably. I still won both that I ended up facing, but they were just frustrating me. Genex, I beat it. Frog Monarch, I beat it. Stardust Assault Mode, I OTK'd it. Hieratics, I beat it. Weird Battle Damage Effect Damage Random deck, I beat it. Neo-spacians, I beat it. Direct Attack Burn, I beat it. Macro deck, I beat it. Chronomalies, I beat it. Though that was actually my first Chronomaly duel. It seems pretty interesting. They do have some couple of tricks that seem interesting to me, but they still lost. Gate Heroes, I'm so glad I beat this guy. He was talking like he was so much better than me, so I'm happy I beat him. I went up against Burn, I beat him. Thunder, I ended up facing a Thunder deck, like the whole Ma Hunder, Pa Hunder, Sis Hunder thing. I ended up beating that. Koa'ki Meiru's, he like beat himself. He did the worst misplay of life. And literally, there was no way that he was going to come back from that misplay. So he ended up just surrendering. Hieratic Ninjas, I just exploded on him, and I ended up winning. So that's how the deck's been doing, and that's the deck itself, and I will be continuing to play it and working on it as well. So that's it. Later, guys. Inzektors. Peace.